Hey guys, I'm back from another video. Today we'll be doing what if Tundra had the breath of the sun and had the breath of the sun. You see that I made a thumbnail because I made a thumbnail. Okay, it's not as good as my old ones because obviously I'm on the computer. Phone's still fucked up, but that's not the point. So I believe where I left off was that Tanjiro finished his mission the um, with the bird thing, and then he did no with the demon splitting into other demon things. I think he did that. He met Muzan, he met the other women, and then he met Zenitsu. So that's where I end off from. I believe I gave Zenitsu a talisman for him to a talisman so he could go to sleep when he channels energy towards his when he breathes a certain way, he can fall asleep and use his, I'm gonna call it lightning mode. And the people who won the the poll for Nezuko's race was metahuman. I think it was not a poll, but I think it was more metahuman. And then there was what was it called? Demonic human. And then there was, what was it? Some other name, right? But between those three, I saw one more than the other, but it's either this one. I think she's demonic human because she is a demon and she is a human. So she's demonic human, that one. So her race is demonic human, but the demonic humans, well, which would only be her and Tanjiro's kids, because remember, they are not siblings in this one. They are the Nezuko comes from a rich family, and her rich family died, and she was married off to Tanjiro's family, and blah blah blah. If you watch other parts, you will know what happened. But Tanjiro, yeah. So it would be so the demonic humans don't have they have the power demons. They do not need they actually they can't eat humans. They straight up can't eat it. Not even their blood, because their body would instantly spew it back out of their body. But they can use blood demon arts, and they can use many. They have increased physical strength, increased healing. Well, very increased healing. They still have a demon's healing. But the only problem is, and they can walk out in the sun and all that. But the only problem is they need to take lots of rest to store their energy, and they need lots of food to sustain their energy. So, yeah. So Nezuko eats a lot. She eats a lot. So yeah, this is where Zenitsu, Nezuko, and Tanjiro get the message to go up that hill where the demon was spotted or something. They get up that hill or mountain, and they see three children. See three children, and well, it's two little children. Tundra goes over them and kneels down and smiles, which doesn't come from Tundra much, but he smiles. Well, it's a fake smile, of course, but a smile in general. He asks them what is the problem, and they're a little scared. Says that their brother just came, and someone just came and took their brother and dragged him in the house. And Tundra said, "What about your parents?" And they say their parents died a long time ago, and that the brother is all the only family they have, and they are becoming to go in poverty because, again, he's not the age to they're not the age. The brother is not the age to work yet. So yeah, actually no, because Tandro is technically working at 15. I think the brother was a little older than him, so no. Yeah, so he'd be able to work, but he wouldn't have a good job to sustain three people. So, nah. So Tanjiro goes inside and he notices that the every time a certain song goes off in a room, the buildings shake and shift. Nezuko and Nezuko Nezu ah no. Tanjiro told Zenitsu to stay with the children, and Zenitsu doesn't have confidence really, but he knows he can take on people because, but he knows it that he has to be quick with it and put out his hand sign very fast, because if he can't do that, he's dead. So he's still a little fearful of stuff, but he knows he can fight because he knows when he goes to sleep he's a beast. So yeah. So Tanjiro, so Zenitsu stays with the kids, and Tanjiro and Nezuko go into the room. Nezuko unbrandishes her sword, and it glistens in the light. There's a pink glow coming off of it. She senses something, and she just jumps away instantly. Her and Tanjiro has a very deep bond, like a really, really deep bond. Although Nezuko wasn't for the whole getting married, forced to get married thing, she got to know Tanjiro, and she knows what Tanjiro's been through and know how much guilt he puts on himself. He doesn't say it out loud, but she knows. Let's say a wifely instinct, or whatever you want to call it. She knows when he is sad, and she knows when he blames himself for something, and all through this time he's been blaming himself for his parents' death. He always says if he didn't say anything about his power, or if he didn't show his power, nothing would have happened to their family. His brother wouldn't have left. A lot of things wouldn't have happened. Yes, but if he didn't do it also, Nezuko would have been married to a jerk and a bastard and a power-hungry person, and the clan would be ruled by a power-hungry person also. So it was good that Tundra showed his power, but also bad at the same time. But I don't think fans blame Tundra for anything. Like, fans of the series don't blame Tundra in particular. Well, I don't. Tundra, I don't blame him. So obviously, because of the creator. So he blames himself for all of that. And Nezuko knows this, and there's even times where she has seen him, because they do sleep in the same room, because again, they're husband and wife. Well, not husband and wife yet, but they're actually gonna be engaged, well, married very soon. But there's only one obstacle in the way of them getting married right now. It's the fact that Tanjiro has not found his other wife. It is either his wife is, if his other wife is dead, then sure, they can get married. But if his other wife is not dead and she is alive, which he has confirmed that she is alive, well, not confirmed, he did go to her hometown, because he doesn't know that, because he does know Kanao. I'm calling her Konako, not Konako, Kanao. Sorry, he doesn't know where Kanao used to live. So, anyways, so I'll explain more about going to Kanao's house later. So she doesn't really need to talk to Tanjiro to know what Tanjiro is thinking, and Tanjiro knows that. So she just brandishes her sword, jumps off a wall and jump on another wall and goes upstairs, just like that. Tanjiro just disappears in a blur and appears next to the brother. The brother has a kind of wood spike, anyways, in his belly. Tanjiro rushes over to him and he tells him that he's not gonna make it. There's half of his gut is gone, and even if he did make it, he couldn't work anymore, and he would slowly die. So he begs him to take care of his brother and sister, and he passes away. Tanjiro takes a drum and he beats a drum, and then a demon appears right at the back of him. Tanjiro side glances the demon and asks the demon if he did this. Then the demon says, "No, I didn't do it. Yes, I was going to eat him, but that's because I has not eaten in about 15 weeks, I guess. And his bloodline, or his family blood." And he licks his lip and says, "His family blood is equivalent to 10 humans, so I don't have to eat for a while. So, hey." Tanjiro looks at him and he sees that a demon doesn't really. He's not one of those demons that just eats people because he could. He knows how long he can go without eating, and he would only eat towards then. And then Tanjiro asked him if he will like him to end his suffering, and the demon says, and this is the same former moon. He's the same former moon demon thing. And he says, "If you can, and I'm not gonna go down with a fight, but I'll be very grateful if you can end me." Tanjiro disappears, and in a blink of an eye, half of his body is gone, without the head. His arm, his leg, and the half of his torso is gone. And he's just at the back. And then Tanjiro's blade is bright, is a bright red color. And Tanjiro's eyes are the eyes of the sun. Now, if you don't know what the sun actually looks like, well, look at that. Go on and type up the sun, and then you would see a thing of the sun. Yeah, basically. And how the sun looks is how Tanjiro's eyes is. And I've hinted this with his sword before. I've hinted of what he actually is, and I'll just explain it. I'm not gonna get any point in time where I can elaborate on what he is. I probably will at some point, but I just can't find a plot point where it would happen. So I'm just gonna say it now. Tundra is a sunborn, and if you do not know what a sunborn is, he's a child of the sun, like literally the sun god. Yeah, Tundra is the son of that guy, and well, not a son. Oh god, how am I explaining this? He has the blessing of the sun god, which makes him an apostle of the sun. Makes him be able to use the sun power as full compatibility, but his human body still draws him back because he cannot use certain things. So yeah, Tanjiro. That's why Tanjiro is so strong and got so strong so fast, and that's why he's able to use sun breathing without a sitch. But Cruel Sun is a direct result of him being the apostle of the sun. So yeah, that's why. So that's why. So the demon sighs, and then he feels something sharp in his heart, and he just sighs, and then the blade comes out of his heart, and his head just falls off, and he dies. Zenitsu comes gleaming in, and he saw everything that Tanjiro did. That's Zenitsu. Did I say Zenitsu? Boar hat guy. That him. I can't remember his name. Anyways, he sees him and he challenges Tanjiro, but Tanjiro ignores him and tells him, "Wait till we get outside," and he just walks off. The boarhead guy, I was gonna call him. You know what? I'll give him a name, a personal name. Let's. What should I name him? I'm gonna give him, well, Tanjiro's nickname for him is Boar, and he's gonna call him Boar most of the time. So Boar sees the body of the man and sees why Tanjiro doesn't want to fight him right now, and we see Nezuko with her sword drenched in blood, but the blood is slowly burning and going away because demons don't leave remains. If you don't remember that, demons don't leave remains. So tough. Anyways. Tanjiro goes back in the room and picks up the brother, and he jumps down and he lands on the floor, and Nezuko sees him and she jumps down. Well, Nezuko has her hair in a ponytail, but her edges of her hair are pink instead of orange, and tight holding up her hair is a bow that has little tiny suns on it, and she's wearing a Demon Slayer outfit, but a dress instead of like, I'm retconning her outfit, but Tanjiro's outfit is still the same, but I'm retconning her outfit in particular. So yeah, but she is wearing a coat like not the normal Tanjiro coat, that the green and black coat that Tanjiro used. She has all that, but yeah, it was actually Tanjiro's father's like cloak thingy, jacket thingy, so he gave it to her, and she actually really loves it and cares for it dearly, because Tanjiro gave her something that his father gave him. Well, gave his was originally supposed to give it to his brother, but like he decided to give it to him even before he showed his power, because to be honest, Tanjiro's father liked Tanjiro more than Momoshiki, because Momoshiki's a jerk and fucking power hungry. So yeah, so Tanjiro gave it to her, and she really cherishes the jacket or whatever. So Tanjiro comes outside and he looks at the young brother and sister, and he tells them that their brother's dead, and I'm sorry. And Tanjiro says that I'll be taking care of you, but let's bury your brother first. And Tanjiro buries their brother, and the two brother and sister are crying, and Tanjiro grabs their hand and he puts the sister on his back, and he puts the sister on his back, and Nezuko grabs the little boy's hand, and they go off. They still make it to the hotel, the compound thing that they did in canon, but the children are staying with them, and Nezuko is in a separate room because she's a girl. So Tanjiro, Bor, and Zenitsu are talking, and Tanjiro sees a lot of his brother, not Momoshiki, his other the the third oldest of them, the third oldest of their all the brothers. Sees a lot of him, and he didn't like the third oldest. He was okay. He was tight. They were tight. They were really tight actually. And Tanjiro just feels the urge to pat him on the head, and he just does it most of the time. And every time they talk, Tanjiro just pats him, and Boar doesn't really mind. Actually, he kind of likes it because he feels this brotherly figure towards Tundra because he's strong and all these things. So he doesn't really mind it. So he even starts calling him the third youngest brother's name sometimes, and he also doesn't really mind that. So he corrects himself most of the time, but as he sees, he doesn't really care. He just does it a lot. And for comedy's sake, I'm gonna say the third youngest brother was the third oldest brother name was Boar, so that's why he calls him Boar, and Boar, so he takes up the Boar name. So anyways, so the day comes and the children are still with them, and Tanjiro says that he has to now head home, like actually home, which is a compound, which is the clan, and he takes the children there. So it's gonna be a few days pass, and Tanjiro, well, a week passes, and Tanjiro goes. So I'm delaying the spider arc thingy. So it's been a week, 3 to 4 weeks, and they have finally reached Tanjiro's home. Well, not home, like it's his home, but it's also his compound and his town. So yeah, they enter and they see so much people that look a lot like a lot like Tanjiro, like way too much like Tanjiro. And Nezuko is not really bothered by it because again, she's been here before. So it did take her a while to get used to seeing a lot of people that look freaking alike. But like, cause if you didn't watch the last one, or if you didn't watch the first one, I had talked about this. They on that state Alabama shit. That clan is on their state Alabama shit. It's sad, but like the main household and the closest to the main household, because the main household didn't force them to do any of this, but they decided to do it because they wanted to fucking do it, and it was always so puzzling. But then they just gave up at it as after a while, so they started inbreeding, and in anime, inbreeding doesn't have any side effects of bad children. So, oh no, I shouldn't have said that, but like, let's be honest here. That's what's happened. Let's be honest here. That's what happens when you inbreed. It's not. That's why it's not very recommended to do. So I digress. So Tanjiro carries the two children in there, and they are they have gone a bond with Tanjiro, and they call him Big Brother Tanjiro, and they call Nezuko Big Sister Nezuko, and Zenitsu Scared Guy, and Boarhead little Big Brother Boar, and Boar kind of treats them as such, but like he gives them tough love and shots at them sometimes, but like they always know that he cares about them. Tanjiro carries them to the main house, and Zenitsu are just looking at all these people because they all of them look like Tanjiro, and Tanjiro, not Tanjiro, yeah Tanjiro. Zenitsu does not know what all of this is, and just wondering why does everybody look like fucking Tanjiro, and then it's Nezuko sees his confusion, and she turns around because they're just still walking to the main house, and she explains that they on that state Alabama shit. They sweet home Alabama. Like I didn't stop, but like they on that shit. So she explains it, and she's like, hey, they on that state Alabama shit. They do incest breeding. Like that's what they do. So don't even try to wrap your head around it. It's weird, but that's what they want to do. So they just let them do that. And for some reason, no one in the clan has a problem with inbreeding. But I don't mean like brother sister. None of that. Mm. You see, it started as that because obviously, if you're inbreeding, you have to start fucking somewhere, and it all started with the Sun Breathers. Oh my god, Sun Breathers, son and daughter. Well, not son and daughter. Not son and daughter. His son and Tanjiro's aunt sister. No, his daughter and Tanjiro's aunt sister's son. And then it kept on going with his grand sisters. So it went on from there. So like, it became brother and sister at a point, and then it became. So after the but cousin thing, it turned into a sister brother. Then it went down from there. That's how all of it started. Okay, I know it's gross. Well, actually, it's not gross technically, because then if you think, why am I getting so in detailed into this? But if you think about it, and if you really believe the Bible or something, Adam and Eve was like the only two people on fucking Earth. So we all started somewhere. So, technically, we're all family, and we're all kind of screwing with our sis cousins, everybody. So technically, all of us on that state Alabama shit. Technically, unless that's if you don't believe in that religion, but like if you believe it, that's how all of us started. So I'm yeah, I'm gonna stop saying that now. So let me get back into the video. So they make it, and Tanjiro goes to one of his maids or whatever, and tells them to take care of these two, and they say they want to become strong like Big Sister Nezuko and Big Brother Tanjiro, and the maid says that then you'll be training because technically Tanjiro did not adopt them, but they were adopted to the Held family, so they will have to train either ways. But like, anyways, so they move into there. They went to their house because let's say they remembered where the house was, and he carried them there and blah 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 blah. Blah. So Tanjiro goes out and they go to do the spider mission. Now Tanjiro gets into the forest and everybody's still fighting each other and blah 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 blah. That things go the same. Everything goes the same until Tanjiro sees the woman. Now Tanjiro is not the person that killed the lady. It was Nezuko that killed the lady, and she uses drizzling what water breath, drizzling water all the time. So it's not anything new to her. So it's not anything new to her. So like she's not even bothered. And remember last video, last sun breath video, I talked about how I hate people telling me what to do. Yeah, I'm gonna do that again because apparently people. I heard another person said I can't make harems because after some fucking episode, bitch. What is this? This is my what if. I was not gonna do it at first, but now I want to do it because just to piss you off. Because I didn't even plan to do it, but I'm gonna do it. I was planning to do it like in their ancestorship, but no, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so so Tanjiro and Nezuko still meet Ryu, whatever his name, Ryu. I think his name was Ryu or something, and still meet him. They still find out that he's a moon and all that. Now Tanjiro wouldn't even blink at him. He would still send his spider whatever webs things at on or wire at Tanjiro, but Tanjiro would he wouldn't even move because it would look like when the like wire comes towards him, it just splits and just gets destroyed. He even used his blood demon art to make it stronger, and Tanjiro just does the same thing, making it just disappear. And Tanjiro's not even touching. He didn't even pull out his sword, so he's not using a breath technique. He's using his heat from the body burning the wire before it could touch him. Remember, he's an apostle of the sun god, so yeah. So Tanjiro then disappears and says, first form, second form, and third form. Sunrise, sunset, and sun heat wave. And then he slices Ryu up, then he slices him down, then he spins, and then Ryu is split in the 4 parts actually. 4 parts. And Ryu's just there, and his neck was cut a long time ago. He was cut in half, so he did. This is where flower bitch, no, insect bitch and water pillar comes. So they see Tanjiro, and they can still sense, the flower bitch, I mean the insect bitch can sense like can sense that Nezuko's a demon, but she also sensed something different, and that's where the race is going to be explained. And so she comes towards Nezuko. But remember, Nezuko is fucking strong. Like, she is already pillar strong. So yeah, she threw hands with her. Like, no, when she came to slice off Nezuko's neck, she just, not even looking, takes out her sword, blocks it at the back of her head. Just takes out her sword, blocks it, and she sees she's a demon slayer. The fuck? And she's like, then Nezuko turns around and kicks her in the belly, and then she runs, and she just runs towards her and starts batting her. But Nezuko is only just dodging and weaving and just clashing with her blade, not even really trying to hurt her. But she does have to put in a little effort to block, dodge, and parry with her. So, but she's not actually trying to hit her. So Nezuko is quiet because she's always quiet, and she still has that like thing in her mouth. So she's not really saying anything. So she ducks and flips over one. And this is where Kanao, yeah, Kanao, damn it, Kanao comes, and she sees Kanao, and a glisten of light comes in her eyes, and yeah, well, Nezuko has not seen her in person, but she did see pictures of Konoha before, and well, no, actually, no, she wouldn't have seen him. But she does know the rough description of Konoha and how she actually looked with those hollow, lifeless eyes that she has, and those because she has the same eyes of both Tanjiro and Nezuko, because Nezuko does have lifeless eyes because fucking she's a demonic human, so obviously she's a demonic human, so she doesn't have no pupil. Well, not pupils, like irises or whatever we call them, and she sees the same thing in Konoha, which is not normal to see in a human. But then again, actually, Tundra technically isn't a human. Also, who cares? So Tundra sees this, and he's just talking to Jiro. Gyro. I'm not trying anymore. He talks to his Oni-san. Oni-san. Wait, is it Oni-san? It's Oni-chan. Oni-chan. He talks to his Oni-chan. Wait, not Oni-chan. Fuck. Oni-san. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's Oni-chan, yeah. It's Oni-chan, his big brother. Right, cool. Okay. Talks to his big brother, and he's just talking to him casually, and then he sees it, and then he just like appears behind the insect bitch and knocks the fuck out of her. Like, he chops her in the neck, and then he sees Konoha, but a tear comes out of his eye. Konoha sees Tundra. She was waiting for Tundra to see her. Well, she didn't see Tundra at first, but she wanted Tundra to find her, because she knows Tundra's been looking for her, and her parents has been trying to contact her, and yeah, because Tundra kind of stopped sending them money, obviously, because she's not even there. She hasn't been there for years, and her parents never actually tried to work because, and her parents are kind of like begging her to send them money and blah blah blah. But she only read the letters merely because they were talking about Tanjiro, and they did mention that Tanjiro came to them. Well, not came to them. He didn't personally come to them, but they did hear that Tanjiro was looking for her and blah 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 blah. So she knows that Tanjiro's been looking for her, and she just wanted to. She was playing cat and mouse. She found it interesting that Tanjiro actually cared about her, because no one really cared about her unless they had to, which was like the insect bitch sister and the insect bitch herself. So she didn't really have to care. But oh yeah, and Zenitsu. Zenitsu still fought his fight, and Boar still started his fight, but it didn't really matter because they finessed all of them except Boar. Boar got his ass handed to him. Like, he did get finessed. He got finessed out of a lot. So yeah, Boar, but he's not as damaged as he was in canon, so he doesn't lose his voice and stuff. But he's still fucked up. Anyways, Zenitsu didn't even get poisoned in the first place. So anyways, so Tanjiro goes, and so cool. Konoha comes to Tanjiro, and Tanjiro looks at her, and he can't move at this point, which is not a feeling that he felt a lot. And the reason he doesn't feel this way around Nezuko is because he's always around Nezuko. So when they had the little flings and sparks when they were dating, well, engaged, whatever you want to call it, they did have those flings and blah blah blah, but this is the first time seeing. This is why I would mention it. So she sees Tundra, and Tundra sees her, and Tundra just didn't know what to say, and he turned his head because he she saw a glimpse of red appear on his cheeks. And then he turned away, and he just walked away from it, and just like saying nothing, just walked away. And Nezuko looked at Tanjiro, and she went over to Kanao and was like, he can't express how he feels. He did that to me sometimes, so I'll explain it for you. He's excited to see you, and he does have feelings for you, but he doesn't know how to express those feelings, so he just walked away because he didn't know what to say or what to do. So he just walked away, and he's not that good at communicating his feelings. And she just thinks if she should flip the coin to nod or something, so she does, and it says yes. So she nods, and in claiming that she understands. And she decides that using a coin for her husband is not a good idea. So she when she's not around Tanjiro, she will have brain cells, because apparently without the coin she does not have a brain cell. So yeah, but she gains brain cells when she's around Tanjiro. So because she actually does love him, because when she heard, at first she didn't really care, because yeah, she thought Tundra was just like everybody else. He didn't really care whether she was alive or anything. But she figured out he actually was trying to find her. And the other time he had, he was sending money for her, which she found out and wasn't angry at her parents, but who cares about her parents, that is. So she does love Tundra at this point, and they do go back to the ashram. Now then he made a mistake. Well, Tundra made a mistake. He fell asleep on the water pillar's back, because that's his Onichan. So he fell asleep on his back, and he wakes up bright as day, which it was not before, bright as day, and he can see like these niggas not surrounding him, but like at the back of him, and he is tied up, and he's like, the fuck, where the fuck I am? Well, he doesn't say that because he has a monotone voice, and they start talking, blah blah blah, and they start talking, introducing themselves, and he just says that he tried to stop them, but they won't let him. So he's just standing there at this point, and the master calls him, and blah blah blah. So Tanjiro doesn't really care. He just sits back, lays back down, and doesn't really care. And this is where the wind pillar comes in and says blah 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 that she's a demon and blah blah blah. But the pillars are like, yeah, she's a demon, but she's also in the sun. But they don't say anything, and he's going off crazy because he hates them, like hate them. Don't care. He didn't even realize she was in the fucking sun. She didn't remember. Nezuko doesn't have a box, so he wouldn't. He would just grabbing Nezuko by the hair, and Nezuko doesn't really react because again she's a demon. Tanjiro's looking at this nigga, and Tanjiro just disappears, and he was taunting Tanjiro, and that was a bad idea. That was a really fucking dumb thing to do, taunting Tanjiro, the sun apostle. The fuck? Are you dumb or stupid? So then one of the Hashira's blades, which were, well, his Onichan's blade disappears, which he didn't really mind. And then you just see cuts open on the wind pillar. Like, no, not just like slight gashes, like pure on cuts. I mean slices, nigga. And blood just starts spewing from this nigga. But who do you see standing up with a, well, not standing up, but kind of standing up with a blade in his mouth at the back of the wind pillar? Tanjiro fucking Kamado. So he's there. He's side glancing, glaring down this nigga and saying, who the well, not saying because he can't speak. There's a sword in his fucking mouth. And he just turns around and stabs him in his shoulder and pins this nigga to the ground with the sword in his shoulder still, and he jumps up and steps on the sword, and grabs Nezuko before he fell. So he just broke the restraints and just holding Nezuko. And Nezuko is hugging him, but she wasn't scared. But like she didn't really feel anything. Again, she's a demonic human, so she doesn't really feel stuff like that. So she's just hugging him, and Nezuko's so she has her hands wrapped around his neck, and he's holding her Bravo style. He ripped off like the restraints he had, which was the rope, and they're like, damn, he's strong. Like he's strong. And the what was her name? The beauty pillar, I think she was. The beauty pillar, I don't know. The beauty pillar. She's more concerned about the ground than the actual person, because I would be too. But like, that ground looks high quality. The fuck? Why would you ruin it with your disgusting blood? Like, come on, man. And you tried to kill a girl that everybody noticed didn't burn from the fucking sun. So yeah. So yo, this he's bleeding. He has tears in his eyes. He is bleeding, and the snake pillar comes down, and he tries to fight with Tundra. Unlike the others, he does not notice that Tundra, because he's stupid like that. Also, he doesn't notice that Nezuko didn't really fight him, nor he didn't realize that that Nezuko was in the sun. So he comes down, and Tundra, he takes the sun pillars, he disappears, and the sun pillar sword is gone too. And then you just see cuts open on this nigga's body. The bandages, the scars, you can see them too. The bandages that was on his face, they're gone. They done gone. All his fingernails are gone too. And bro, the snake he had, that's just pinned to the tree. It's not dead, but it's like it hit his skin, and his skin is still on his body. Well, obviously his skin is not on his fucking body. It's there with a nail that Tundra found in the ground, and it's on a tree, pinned to the tree, but it's not impaled in the snake. And guess what? He has cuts, and he's also pinned to the tree by a sword in his shoulder. Wow, I did not expect that. Tundra is just going ham on these niggas today. He doesn't see the line between human or dude. He doesn't discriminate. He's equality. He doesn't discriminate. If you want peace, you can get peace. Also, he's sharing some of the cake, bro. He's if you want, he wants a small, you can get some small. You can get some small. Every single person can get some smoke. It does not matter. I do not discriminate. So he's like, hey, I don't discriminate till you did. So the sword, like the two pillars, the pillars that are left, decide, oh, I'm not gonna cross this man. You see, he just took them out without batting an eye, and he beat them that bad in 2 seconds flat. So you see me. No, I am not trying him. So they look away. The sun pillar is like, okay, my sword just got took from me, and I didn't even notice. So I'm wondering, what the fuck? Like, he can't be that stronger than me, can he? I also noticed that this man did not use breathing. He would just use his pure speed and physical strength to beat them. And that, both of them, their pride is broken. They shame. They beaten. They broken. They got a sword in their shoulders. They hurting. Like, they hurting. That's just tough. Like, Tundra can give less of a fuck. Like, he can give less of a fuck than anybody else. He's just like, hey, I could give a fuck, but then I could also not give a fuck. So then the master comes out. He sees them, and he understands what happened. Well, he can't see. I'm sorry. Oh, damn it. I forgot the fixes. So Tundra looks at him, and he notices it. Oh, and then he smacks his head, and then he realizes he was supposed to do something. Then he appears in front of him, and this is where the Hashira gets. They think he was gonna do the same thing he did to those two niggas out there, but Tundra holds his hand over the leader's eyes and says, "Secret technique, secret Kamado technique, sun healing." And he removes his hand from the thing's eyes, and his scar that he had is gone, and his eyes has color to them. Let's say his eyes is purple. His eyes has a color to them now, and they're purple. Now he can see. Anyways, so he's like, oh, I have to adjust to this light, nigga. I haven't seen light in a few years, so I gotta. Ooh, that sun's hurting. So he's like, okay, this sun's hurting too much. Let me, excuse me. Son, oh god, ugh. He gets adjusted to the sun. He thanks Tanjiro profusely and says, oh, thank you. I love that my side is back, blah, blah, blah. And he then announces, meet your new captain. Tanjiro looks at him like, the fuck? Who? And the pillars are like, the fuck? Captain. And Tanjiro sees the beauty pillar. That's what I'm calling her. The pink and green hair bitch. Her. And he never felt this way to anybody that he wasn't engaged to. So he appears next to her because he's really blunt. And he kisses her on her neck. And she's like, she's already minded because she's the beauty. She's always thirsty. She's the most thirstiest character in the whole entire anime. So she's thirsty, and just for spite, because I also hate the snake pillar. He's still awake because he couldn't get his shit mixed like the wind pillar. Well, he did. He got it more because his fingernails are gone, but. He did get pieced up, but let's say he has a moment. He sees this happen, and then he just kisses the beauty pillar on her lips. So Tundra is just testing out the waters, because he's kissed Nezuko, and he's felt a certain feeling, and he kissed her, and she wraps her arms around his neck, and she just kisses him back, and Tundra pulls off and says, it's exactly the same when I kiss Nezuko. You want to go out with me? And that's all he says. Like, he got the moves. He doesn't care. Like, ugh, man's a ghost. So he doesn't really care. Like, fuck you talking about, bitch? I'm the ghost, so I don't need to follow normal human rules. I'm an apostle of the sun, bitch. And Tando doesn't know that. And then the masters then tells him about Nezuko's race, and it's came out one time before, and her race is called demonic humans. He explains the power of a demonic human, and that they still have the humanity, blah blah blah. And the Hashiras are intrigued, like, damn, they have a big weapon now. And he did tell them that Nezuko got blood from Muzan. She got blood from Muzan, so she is as strong as some of the moons. Maybe even stronger. Actually, she's stronger than most of the moons, because most of the moons cannot standing sun, but she can. So she's stronger than most of the moons. So they're like, oh, cool. Oh no, cool. And then he explains, well, but Muzan fears one person, and he starts to tell them a secret, or a secret that they have now. That Muzan fears only one person in this whole entire world, and they're listening in, and they say, yeah, who is it? And then he says, Tanjiro Kumaro, and Tanjiro just looks at them and says, yo, and they're like, what? And then he goes on to explain how he met Muzan, and he made Muzan tremble in fear. And then they ask him why Tanjiro didn't kill him already. Kanao says, I'm not planning to kill him anytime soon. I want him to wait out his days. Make him feel like he has hope that he will live. I want to sweep everything up from him. I want to kill his wife, his daughter, everyone that's close to him. And I want to break him down piece by piece, just like what he did to me. And that's why I have not killed him yet. He gave me hope by waiting all these years to do it, because he always had ammo to kill my family, but he couldn't. And my brother just went along with his sick game, and I'll show him a sick game. I'll show him what true power is. One day I will murder, destroy, torture, and completely obliterate Muzan from the sight of the earth. And he did have a deep voice when saying this, but he calmed himself down and calmed back to his normal state. and he explains that he really hates Muzan. Like he might not see it on his face, but he anytime he's around Muzan, he is angry AF. Anytime he hears his name, he just wants to kill Muzan. No words, no talking, dead. And he was talking to Muzan for the last time. So they're like, oh god damn, like, damn, he's intense. Like he's out for blood. He doesn't care for you. He'll kill you in a matter of seconds. So yeah. So then Tundra gets lead to his friend, and this is where he sees Konako, and Konako grabs his hand and visits him to an empty room, and they start talking, and Tundra starts crying, and he puts his head down and kind of kneels and bows and says, "I'm so sorry." Hold on. Konako, I'm so sorry. I I I didn't know that you were traded off as a slave, and then I still ended up giving your parents money, and I'm so sorry. I thought that I didn't visit. I didn't. It made it seem like I didn't care, but I got so caught up in training and trying to get strong to kill Muzan. I I I forgot that I had people, and I'm so sorry. And he's crying, and he's just apologizing and bawling and saying sorry. Which Nezuko is also watching this, and she kind of smiles, not because Tanjiro's crying, is that he's finally letting go his feelings to someone. She doesn't care if it's not her, but like she does like that he's admitting his wrongs. So Konako is shocked because she didn't call him for him to apologize, but she likes that he apologized. So in the middle of his sentence, he was gonna say sorry, and if you don't want to be with him anymore, he understands. And she just grabs his face and kisses him. Remember, this is on Konoha's free will. She just kisses him, and they go more further and further. Konoha's dress her Demon Slayer outfit is gay. Tanjiro's unbuttoning it, and she's unfolding his obi is untying his obi and taking off his kimono, which he has a skin tight shirt under. And she takes off the skin tight shirt and sees Tanjiro's muscles and his scars, and she rubs them, and she's still kissing Tanjiro. And Tanjiro's like leaning forward, like making her go to the ground. And this is where Konako explains to the beauty pillar what her relationship is now, because she's together with Tundra. So she explains that what Tundra is, and who family belongs to, and what his family has to do most of the time if the clan area is such and such, right? So she understands, and she knows, she understands. And unknowns to them, the pillars, the headmaster, most of the staff is watching this go down. So they're getting into it, and people are fucking watching. And Tanjiro didn't even get time to sense them, because normally he would, and he would smell them, but he doesn't, because he's more focused on this than sensing people. So he's getting into it, and this is where the insect pillar comes in, and she's like, "Y'all are nasty. You're just watching this happen." So she opens the door, and most of the people fall in, and Konoha wraps herself up, puts back on her clothes quickly, and Tanjiro looks over, and he's like, "Oh." But that's how I'm gonna leave out this video, guys. Like, no, they still do all their training. They get back to their sewers, blah blah blah. But this is where I end off this video. If you want me to do the train arc, I'll do the train arc. It doesn't really matter. But like, if you want me to, I am down to do it. And probably Adamantium. What if last I had Meta Magic would come out tomorrow? Probably. I'm not promising anything because I'm not a promiser. So I'm not saying so. Yeah.